All right, let's get into our first discussion. Now, on the 25th of February, Nigerians went all out to vote their chosen candidate to become the president of Nigeria. This is in the person of Bola Asiwaju Tinubu, who emerged as the winner of the election announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Now, with 5 days to beginning of a new administration, Nigerians are certainly looking forward to President-elect Bola Tinubu meeting the promises he stated in his renewed hope agenda, which was his manifesto. Now, some of the highlights include tackling insecurity, creating a adequate and affordable healthcare system, creating more jobs or job opportunities, and ensuring quality education, and many others. We'll be talking about this. What are Nigerians expecting in the next administration? Joining us in our Abuja studio to discuss the expectations of Nigerians from the Bola Tinubu administration is a former presidential candidate and former national chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, Kabir Shitu. Kabir Shitu, it's nice to have you join us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning and thank you.
All right, great. The next administration coming on board, Nigerians have very high hopes. Well, first, let's start with the issue of the insecurity, which we see is rearing its head again in parts of Plateau State, also in Benue State, and here and there in Kaduna, and all of that. One would say that what hopes if a retired general, for the last 8 years was not able to keep this thing behind Nigerians for good, what will a renowned accountant do in that regard? Speak to us.
Thank you and good morning, Nigeria. First of all, I want to congratulate all of us as Nigerians because we believe and we know that many people thought we will not get to this level. And today, we've gone to the election. We have come out strongly from the election. Winner has emerged, and we've all accepted that norm called democratic process. So democracy has come to stay. We believe in the rule of law. That's why I say congratulations to all of us. Secondly, on the issue of the man, Tinubu, and the man, Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari is a military general, while the president-elect can be said to be a political general. President Obasanjo said this when he said, go to Bodilon if you are looking for political general. So he's a political general. He knows, he has been around, he has been a governor, he has been a leader in this country. He's been able to bring Nigerians together, and today we are enjoying the fruit of his labor. And luckily, he has come to the saddle. So with that, he knows Nigeria, he knows what to do. And we believe that he will do a great job for Nigeria. I used to say President Buhari can be compared to the former president of China and that of U.S. China in the man of Mao Zedong, and you find out when Mao Zedong came to China, we are at this type of level where everything in China was so down and bad, and level of poverty was so high. So he brought two programs, LEAP and he also brought cultural revolution, which sound very bad and catastrophic for China. But when Deng came, Deng now put China at economic pedestal, So putting Nigeria at China at economic pedestal, make China put up their 50-year rolling plan. And by 2010, China developed. So also, we believe that President-elect Bola Asiwaju, Bola Tinubu, will put Nigeria on economy because that's what he knows best. He has done it before. We have seen what he has turned Lagos to be. We have seen what Lagos is today. Lagos can be compared to any city in the world. So he will take that to Nigeria. And we believe that he has all it takes, and he has all people around him. He knows how to select the best team. Because what Nigerians need is a leader who will select the best team irrespective of where you come from, irrespective of your religion. But you look at your own, what can you do for the country? He has done it in Lagos. He even brought people from outside Lagos to become commissioners, and see today, Lagos is better for it. So we believe he will do it in Nigeria by selecting the best team. So if I go to your question of security, yes, it's time that we tackle security, because you can't continue in a way that we have been spending trillions of dollars and we have not get anywhere. He has done it in Lagos. Lagos was also you can't even move in the street of Lagos when it is already 9 or 10 in the night. Even in the daytime, you are not safe. But you see how he has cleaned Lagos and brought security. Now he has to replicate that in Nigeria. But the first thing I would suggest is that all those forests we left value. No economic activities, nothing inside. That is the breeding ground of what we are having as insurgents, as Boko Haram, as kidnappers today. It's time we move, we modernize our military, both Navy, both Army, both Air Force. Move their barracks from the urban into those rural areas, especially those forests. Move them to the forest. Move the navies into the creeks. Move them out of the urban center. Let them now face the job of guiding the country. Move them back to those forests. Clear those forests. Make those forests put economic activities. Why will you keep a forest that you don't even earn tenkobo? You don't even have any economic activities in those forests. So it's a breeding ground. So we have to stop it by moving them there. Secondly, if you move them there, we have to now equip them with modern gadgets where whatever you are doing, they can detect before even you carry out the act. Then we should also look at their welfare and be able to put a good welfare package for our armed forces. This will help us. And then also, you can have security when you don't have employment opportunity for the young ones. You are having a younger population of about 60%. And you find out of that 60%, you only have 10% that are employed. 50% of them are on the street. Definitely there will be a crime. So you must get them employment opportunity. And in creating employment opportunity, that means you have to now open up industries, because government cannot take them.
Allow me to interrupt you, please. Still on the subject of better security for all Nigerians, let's ask now what you would like to see differently in terms of how states are run by their governors in this issue of security and all that. We've seen governments rising to the occasion, even in this current administration. But analysts still say there is room for, better governance on their part. After all, it's their domains where this, violence is erupting. What would you like to see differently under the Tinubu administration?
Thank you. Under President Tinubu administration, we believe that if you look at security, it's not only taking gun and killing innocent citizens in the name of either they are this or that. As you say, if you want the state to function, you must now, what is our main job? We are agrarians. Our rural areas are agrarians. The state should now be looked towards developing agricultural product around them. Each local government have one thing or another. Because when you engage this youth, when you engage them, they are working. You have solved 50% of the country's security. Because an idle mind is an evil workshop. But if it's engaged and it's working, what will he be thinking of going to commit crime? That is why the insurgents are more lucrative than the working in the office. That's why you see the young one trooping into or taking crime into their hand. So what we should do, if you want the state to develop, is that you should look at exclusive list and look at concurrent list and look at in those exclusive lists, which we thank God, the railway has been solved. Another thing is power. Power generation must also be solved. The president-elect at a time as a state governor, he brought Aaron to Nigeria. We see how the federal government killed that idea, and that idea will have put power to Lagos. But that idea was killed. I think we should bring back that idea. There's a young chap that was brought to Nigeria from General Electric. When we discussed and interviewed him, he was a brilliant man. Today, instead of we using him in a national on how to put our electricity in a better pedestrian, this guy just put as maybe in charge of Abuja electricity. This brain drain is what also disturbing. Therefore, now that we have him who has started before, he should now kickstart it and make sure that each state are able to generate electricity. The state that you have hydro, let them generate electricity through hydro. The state that have solar, let them now improve on solar and generate with solar. The state that have wind, like the ocean wind, can now go into generating those. As soon as we are able to have enough electricity, we now power our processing plant. We now ban exportation of our goods. If you ban the exportation of our goods, which I want the president to take serious, you must process all our goods in Nigeria before you export them. This will create great job for Nigeria. And I'll give you an example. If you ban exportation of cocoa, that means Oyo State, Ondo State, Ogun State will be able to now put cocoa processing plants where they can employ millions of naira. It's millions of youth. This is a chain that you can also grow even cotton in the West, not only in the North. You can grow cotton in Oyo State in Shaki. You can grow cotton. You can grow cotton in Funtua. You can grow cotton in the most part of the North and the North Central. You now have, instead of us going to Switzerland to import the clothes I'm wearing here today, we can be able to now power those processing industry, and then these are what is taking our hard-earned dollar in Nigeria. So if
all right, Kabir, let me put you on hold.
We're able to generate electricity.
Yes. Kabir, a lot of persons are looking forward to some reforms. Recall that we have been talking about in fact, the word restructuring had been very prominent in the last, say, 10 years. And Nigerians have said there has to be some kind of restructuring? Although just a few months ago, we saw the president try to, sign a new law offloading items on the exclusive list. Now we have power that used to be on the exclusive list is now on the concurrent list. Railways that was also on the exclusive list is now on the concurrent list. Also correctional centers, as well as a few other issues. But Nigerians are saying there has to be more reforms. What kind of reforms, leading to, say, a kind of restructuring are you looking at or are you envisaging?
When you say restructuring, restructuring can mean different thing to you, and restructuring can mean different thing to me. For us, this restructuring is to see that now that the states, the rail line, the power have been moved out of exclusive list into concurrent list, they should take the advantage of this. And the first thing, that's why we started with issue of power. Because if the states can now generate their own power and then distribute, when you generate, you are able to transmit and distribute within your state. You create power, industrial hubs. And when you create these industrial hubs, that means your state is now going towards economic advancement. If no state in Nigeria that does not have one, either aquatic resources or agricultural resources or mineral resources, each state have one thing to do. So they concentrate in what they have in their state. Like in Borno State now, as we say, they have right now to generate their own electricity. They have right now to put a rail line within their state, even into those interior where agricultural and mineral resources or aquatic resources can be bring to the town. They have that opportunity now. That restructuring is already starting. We must start with economic restructuring in order to curb this menace that is calling insecurity in Nigeria. So they should take advantage of that to now start. And then, Mr. President-elect, I will urge, if for us to be able to develop our product, is for us to ban exportation of raw materials, be it aquatic, be it agricultural, and be it. And when you ban this exportation of this material until it is processed, if you have gold, process it in Nigeria. If you have oil, process it in Nigeria before you export it. We don't just export crude. And then we have enough market in West Africa, Nigeria and West Africa, for us to earn good money that will help the country. You don't need to export your fish. If you took trawlers into Lagos water and you are able to get streams, you are able to get fish, you don't need to export them. Process it here. That would now boost, like in Ekpe there, you can put processing plant there, and it will boost the economy. It will boost Lagos revenue. And so also in Maiduguri, when you produce such like goma arabic, skin and hagai, all this you do. In Yobe, they have what you call bentonite. You cannot drill oil without bentonite. We can also power. If you power Yobe, you can export bentonite from Yobe. That's restructuring. You are now turning the mindset of your citizen from idleness or from depending on government to now industrialization. And as soon as a country is industrialized, and then and those forests that we are all afraid where is now a breeding ground. What do you need to do with military in Ikoyi? They are not police. Take those barracks from Ikoyi to Ore Forest, and they are there. And then kickstart economic activities in Ore Forest. Kickstart economic activities in Sambisa by putting on, kickstart economic activities in Kainji, in those forests. Take military out of the armed forces, to take them out of cities. They are in Ikoyi. What are they going to do in Ikoyi? What are they going to do in Victoria Island? Take them out of that place. What are they doing inside Kaduna? Take them to when people are being killed and a breeding ground is being formed in those Brindingwari forests. Take them out of Kaduna. Take them there. Now restructure the area. Restructure. We first of all start the restructure with ourselves. And then generate, when we are able to now generate electricity, then rail is cheap. Difficult to build, but it's cheap to move goods. We move our goods from rural to urban, and then you'll be able to process them. So you see that in this 4 years, economic activity will start. It is economy we need now. And God has brought somebody that knows the economy, who can manage our economy. Nigerians have moved from...
Talking about the economy, right, apologies for the interruption. We're getting, gradually to the end of, the time allotted for this interview. I just wanted to also hear from you regarding, how to revive the economy. Talking about fuel subsidies, for example, government after government have spoken about the need to stop the payment of these subsidies, looking at the trillions of naira that have been pumped into this alone against, the gains or losses that the government or that our income have incurred as a result. But for the Tinubu administration, what do you want to see happen regarding the issue of fuel subsidies, even though he has already spoken to what he would need to do as against, the impact that it may have or the uproar that it may cause from Nigerians?
For us, we believe that the president-elect, Nigerian, we must be patient with him. He has to remove that subsidy. We cannot continue with subsidy regime. But I want to plead to Nigerians as patriot, if you are patriotic and you want this country to grow, we must give him the chance of removing subsidy. We should end the subsidy regime as soon as he comes to office. And we now plead to Nigerians to be patient, because when you remove subsidy regime, you will have a great relief on our hard-earned dollars. So, and from there, we will now move the country. We must believe as patriotic Nigerians that we must go through pain. If you want to eat egg, you must break that egg. Therefore, we must be patient with incoming administration in taking very decisive decisions that will help the country. We must be patient with them. So I'm pleading from now that Nigerians should know that even when the next regime comes, we must allow them to take some decisive decisions that will help us in area, especially like the oil subsidy, in the area of power generation, in the area of revenue generation, etc. We must be patient. We must believe that it's time we all join hands to move Nigeria forward. And God has brought somebody who knows it all. And luckily for us, Dangote refinery has just been opened. And we believe that it will also help when they remove the subsidy regime to kickstart the listing. And then, like those moribund refineries, will also urge the incoming president to be able to maybe concession them out, so that we'll have enough refineries to give us our own local consumed oil. So instead of exporting this fuel, we have it in abundance. And that is why I said we must ban exportation of our own raw material. Crude oil is part of it. Refine it in Nigeria, sell it to us. Refine our gold in Nigeria, sell it to us. Our agricultural resources should be processed in Nigeria so that we can have enough, even before export. And they are banning most of our goods in the international market because we did not do any processing of those raw materials. So if we process it, nobody will ban our own product. So this is what we are urging Nigerians. We are going into a difficult time. We have a man that can solve that problem. But if we don't give him chance, how will he solve the problem? So we must give him chance. We must be patient with his policies. We must look inward to be able to move Nigeria forward.
Kabir, we've seen instances where the government, we have the Buhari administration has borrowed monies, so much monies for infrastructure and other social development running up to, in fact, right now, the Nigeria debt stands at about 77 trillion naira. One would say that something has to be done to generate revenue so that the issue of borrowing can reduce. What hopes do you have in the area of revenue generation for the next administration?
Thank you. If the economy is boosted, if the economy get boosted, then you get more revenue. If you start industrialization and we are able to start processing our goods, definitely, you know that the more you have companies, the more they pay revenue, and the more the country generates more. And that is why we are saying, don't export raw materials. If you are exporting raw materials, you only get that little. The value chain, which will have boosted your economy, is gone. If we are refining our product today, you know how many people will even get before transporting the premium oil from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. You know that the economic activities that will go on in Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. If we are exporting, let's assume our cocoa, and we have those factories in those areas, and the forest is open up, and you are planting your cocoa, and you know how much it will generate for those states and to Nigeria. And then if you open up, so definitely you must be able to now generate electricity that will power our industry. So as we have more industry, the more you get revenue. And then you find out that Nigeria, we are also as individuals must now resolve to start paying our yearly due. Because that's why I said there will be very tough decisions, decisive, that will be taken in order. So we should bottle up our belt and be able to now come into reality, face the reality. What is the reality? Is that we must all join hands and to build this country. And you can't build a country when you don't have fund. And all of us must contribute by paying our due every year as at when due, so that we can be able to service the country economy.
All right, we have to leave it here now. Kabir Shitu, thank you so much for your insight into the issues that we have talked about today. Looking forward to a new administration in just a few days from now, and Nigerians are looking forward to a lot of things changing. Thank you for your time, Kabir Shitu, former presidential candidate and also former national chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council. Thank you very much.